What we're going to do is that we're going to pick Yang as her opponent in a later time. Firstly, I'm going to demonstrate exactly what the Kunai Vortex is. So, basically, the Kunai Vortex is pretty much knocking your opponent down with an untechable knockdown, and then on their way down, you throw the kunai, and you hit them down on the ground again. Now, it normally doesn't look like this when you watch Ibuki play, so you don't actually have to go into crouching roundhouse to get an untechable knockdown with Ibuki, which is one of the reasons why she's such a good character. She gets untechable knockdowns, and I'll show you by turning quick stand on. That, let's see. So quick stand is on. A knockdown like neck breaker, they cannot quick stand out of it. So this allows you to basically combo into an untechable knockdown, hit them into another untechable knockdown, hit them again into another untechable knockdown. And the reason why this works is because sometimes it crosses up. Sometimes that's a mistake that you should get used to not happening. But so basically the reason why this works is sometimes it hits as a cross-up, sometimes it hits on the same side. Now, there are many ways you can actually do the vortex itself. You can do a super jump, throw the kunai. You can do a normal jump and throw the kunai. Or, if you would like, you can even walk forward a little bit, jump and throw the kunai. Now, it is possible to time the vortex completely wrong, and the reason why I picked Yang is because I'm going to show you exactly what happens when you time the vortex wrong. So, what we're going to do is that we're going to have Yang spam a dragon kick over and over again. So I'm going to try and deliberately time it wrong. This is a bit hard considering how long I've played Ibuki. So, if you time the vortex wrong, he's just going to hit you out of it. Right, okay, so there we go. So, how do you know that you got the kunai vortex to hit meaty, so you can get a block string and just a really powerful combo afterwards? How do you know how to do that? Well, what you should do, you should get a character like Yang, who's spamming the dragon kicks, and if you time it correctly, it's actually going to look sorry, if you time it correctly, it's going to look a bit interesting. It's going to make Yang bounce, and it puts him in a juggle state. The reason why this happens is because Yang's dragon kicks, he has invincibility on the second frame, but he's airborne on the first frame. So, now you might be thinking, well, that's technically the same as getting out the vortex, isn't it? Well, no, it's not. Let me just record him again. There's something you can do to Yang if he spams this and he juggles, which basically will even stop him from doing that to get out of the vortex. He does not get out for free. Because he's in a juggle state, I timed the kunai completely wrong just then. Because he's in the juggle state, let me just see if I can get it again. That time he didn't do it. So you're gonna, just practice over and over again until you can get it so that he can bounce and you can grab him. So when he's in a juggle state, he's essentially in the exact same state as if he was jumping and you did a forward kunai in the air. So this is the juggle state that he's in, and that allows you to combo into a Kazagiri, it allows you to combo into a rider, and it also allows you to combo, if you're not the sort of person that can react fast, you might want to do this, you can combo into standing roundhouse. Just a moment. It's a lot easier. Yeah, there we go. So you can combo into that, and of course, I should show it there. You can do a Kazagiri afterwards. So that's sort of the best way. If you've mastered your vortex timing and he's smashing Senko Wake Up, that's the best way to do it. Now, the reason why I picked Yang specifically is because he's pretty much the only character that can make himself juggle besides Sagat, and Ryu used to be able to but can no longer in 2012. Now, what I want you to do is to sort of notice how your opponents can get outside of the vortex. Now, this is obviously a very, very important thing to understand. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick Yang, and we're going to record Ibuki doing the vortex, and we're going to pick different characters in the cast and to sort of explore the ways in which they can get out of the vortex, and we're going to talk about what you can do to punish these ways, because at the end of the day, if they're forced to block it, sometimes it's going to hit them, and sometimes you can get a true block string out of it, so they're going to try to get out of it in sort of creative ways. So when you record Ibuki doing the vortex, always make sure you hit restart and don't walk up to do a net breaker. Just do like a jumping combo into net breaker. This assures you that you always get the exact same spacing. Okay? Now, let's see if we've recorded it correctly. If we've recorded it correctly, as I spam on wake up, I should juggle. So that means that I didn't do it correctly. So let's try that again. That looks right. I think I did that right. There we go, yes. So now that we've got the vortex done correctly, we're going to now switch to a different character and explore exactly how they're able to get out of the vortex. Now, the common question is, can Ryu Dragon Punch you? Well, we're going to see. And I'll tell you now, since I want to keep this video as short as possible and let you explore, that no, Ryu cannot Dragon Punch out of the vortex if you time it properly. And this is because he's invincible in the first frame. Obviously, you wouldn't be going into fast standing Roundhouse if he Dragon Punches. You'll just dash up and punish him completely. Can he ultra out of it? Well, it doesn't have invincibility on the startup, and he's not airborne either, so what's going to happen? Oh, he does have invincibility on the startup, forgive me. I thought it would hit him out of it. But anyway, so the other ways to escape the vortex is actually, one of the disappointing ways is that you can actually just simply backdash. Characters like Ryu, if they backdash, you'll be able to combo them anyway. But characters like Ibuki or Rose, they can just backdash out of it, and they get away for free. You have slight frame advantage, but you don't get to combo them. Another way they can escape the vortex is to hold a focus. Now, this isn't very easy to do. And of course Ryu's backdash is so bad that sometimes he just gets kicked out of it anyway. Perhaps, you see, yeah, there's no way you can escape like that. So there's pretty much no way for Ryu to escape, but I'm just going to quickly show you a character that can escape very, very easily. And the common example will probably be, of course, what is known to be Ibuki's worst matchup. Where is he? You know you're bad with a character when you don't know where they are. It says Fager, but this is actually M. Bison. So he can escape the vortex for free. So you're gonna need to you'll need to do more creative mix-ups. And if you subscribe to the channel and read a playlist, you'll see a good option select against Dictator. I don't play him, but he can actually, in fact, I'll just show you. He can do the EX Psycho Crusher. Yes, and he gets out for free. And sometimes you'll actually hit your Ibuki as well. He has many ways to escape the vortex, actually. Including characters like Chun-Li can actually hit you out of it. And I think he can teleport out, but I'm teleporting in the wrong direction. I'm not all that great at mashing. I don't use the character that particularly. There we go. Okay. So, in the guide, which will be in the description, we'll have lots of ways the characters can escape the vortex, but that's how you practice it, and that's how you practice, you know, if you want to find out what characters can do, and, you know, sort of try to come up with punishes for their escapes. So for now, I'm actually going to move on to bread and butters. Bread and butter combos that every Ibuki player should know. And I really do mean every single Ibuki player should know these bread and butter combos. And we're going to do these combos on everyone's favourite, Abel, just for the sake of simplicity. Because I'm going to go into more advanced combos later on, and I want Abel to be there. So, your basic bread and butters, just make sure he's no longer recording. Your basic bread and butters will be off a crouching jab, so that's a very basic bread and butter. Now this is actually a very easy link to do. This is about, I don't know what the frame data is on this, but it's very easy. So other bread and butter combos that everyone should know. Obviously you have your target combos, which are just very easy to do. But if you don't want to go into the boring old target combo 4 every single time, you can actually combo off this. Let me just get it right. So this combo does work on every single character, however in certain circumstances, like if they're crouching, let's say, you won't be able to do this combo. So by saying that, in fact, I should show you a bread and butter combo on characters like Blanca if they're crouching. If you're an Ibuki player, you might already know this, but target combo 4 essentially whiffs on Blanca crouching. So you'll vortex him, he gets hit crouching, and you try to target combo 4 and he just throws you. Which is quite annoying. So yeah, it just whiffs on Blanca. So, and this combo as well, it doesn't work on Blanca. So to remedy this, you can either go straight into the medium kick after 2 light punches, or you can do something which is a bit more advanced. It's a bit harder to do since it's a 2-frame link, and that's 2 combo off a crouching short. Oh, which doesn't even work on Blanca. It works on Vega, but not Blanca. There's really not many. Yeah, you can do this, I guess. Does that work? Yes, that works. So on Blanca, you know, after the vortex, after you hit the vortex, you want to. Oh, that doesn't even work. So you, on characters like Blanca with small hitboxes, if you target combo whiffs, you want to do 2 crouching jabs into the standing medium kick. Now going back to Abel. So those are your bread and butter combos. Those are pretty much everything you need to learn. And to just get a basic Ibuki so you can score your knockdowns. Now I'm going to go into more advanced combos now. So these are combos you're not required to know, although it's what separates the good Ibuki players from what I suppose the great Ibuki players. Even though the best Ibuki player doesn't actually use hardly any of these combos, you'll see that you get a heck of a lot more damage off them. So before, the most damaging combo I did for you was medium into medium kick neck breaker. Now you can see, you know, the damage numbers there. I don't have my glasses on, but that does 280 damage from my memory. Now what you can do is this thing called a Smuji loop. It's very character specific, so you do need to do lots of training, and it also includes a 1-frame link. I'm going to be telling you a very easy way to pull off the Smuji loop. Especially if you play on PC, it's even easier. But you'll notice that I can basically do this. One moment. Let me just try that once more. Right, okay. So that is what we call a Smuji loop. It's going into light kick Smuji into a fast standing jab. I'll post in the description what characters this works on, how many times you can do it on certain characters. Off the top of my head, the characters you can't do it on include Jury, Blanca. Don't want to say the wrong thing, but it doesn't work on T-Hawk the way you'd expect, and there are others as well, but I'll post a link in the description that has like a checklist for Mingo Dynasty that tells you who it does and doesn't work on. On Abo it works very, very, very well. So anyway, as you'd notice that it does 340 damage, so it does you know, more damage than this. Okay, so it does 60 extra damage and also a lot more stun. It's not just for damage, however, because if you can't do links perfectly, another reason for you to want to actually try this is it builds a lot of meter, and I'll just quickly show you how much meter it builds exactly. So super meter. Right, let's get rid of this. So let's do a basic target combo 4, combo into Neckbreaker. So that builds, you know, about half a bar. Now I'm just going to go get rid of this bar. So now I do a Sumuji loop. And I build just about a bar. Now if I do a double Sumuji loop, let's get rid of this meow. That builds, you know, just a little under 2. No, just kind of like 1.5 meters. So it's really good for stun, quite good for damage, and also builds a bunch of meter. Now I mentioned, now there's actually an easier way to do this, because this is a one-frame link. You know, I've practiced it a lot, so it's easy for me to do. But you might go into training mode and try for hours and you can't get this down consistently. There's an easier way to do it. It's called a method called blinking. What I'm going to be doing right here, so I'm going to go into my configuration, and I think, yes, so this is my back button. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to put my back button on this button here. Usually this button is your free punches and free kicks, because I play at the arcade, I don't use those either. So this is the select button. If you plink into the select button, you'll notice I just got 2 light punches right there. This essentially makes the Sumuji loop a 2-frame link. So if you want to be able to do double Sumuji loops and you're on PC, you can. I'm failing it now that I'm blinking, so I'm not used to actually using this. But it does make it a lot easier, especially if you move all your buttons to here, like so this is your jab and this is your select button. If you play on Xbox and PS3 and you want to use this method of blinking, what you can do is mod your arcade stick, which is pretty much the only way you can do it actually. But if you're on PC, you can just go into the menu and just change it, and you can blink any button. You can have like a free kicks button here and blink into it, and you'll have two copies of free kicks, which will make something like this ridiculously easy, especially if you play Yoon as well. Okay, so that's blinking. Two is super jump cancels, which is everyone's favorite. Now I'm pretty certain that everyone wants to pull off a combo like this. Let me just give me Fens meter. Right. Okay, so super meter as well as revenge meter. So one moment. Let me just pull this off. I don't have my glasses with me, I'm sorry. Okay, so that's a double Sumuji loop and it combos into the Ultra. Now, this idea of high jump cancelling, or better known as super jump cancelling, is when you get a normal and you press down up and you super jump cancel. Now, the applications of this for Ibuki, besides comboing into her Ultra combo, is that you're able to do certain mix-ups, like, you know, this and land on the other side. This and land on the same side. Or, my favourite, which is after the standing roundhouse kick. Now, super jump cancelling, people come onto the forums all the time, you know, how do you super jump cancel? I've been trying this for ages and I'm not getting it out. You know, sometimes you super jump cancel in the ultra and you get like a Kazagiri by mistake. The best way to sort of practice the super jump cancels, I find, sort of the easiest way to combo into the ultra is after a tire combo 4, which is for some reason what I'm messing up. But the easiest way to practice the super jump cancelling is that if you notice when I do this combo, I'm doing the Kazumigake after it hits, and I'm ending it up forward. So I'm just doing the motion, ending it up forward. I've left my inputs on, so you should be able to see. And the reason why, like, if I do like a normal special, you notice that I buffer in sort of the movement long before the hit finishes. But for super jump cancels, I do them like sort of after. And this is because when you super jump cancel, you don't cancel into it straight away. What I'm doing here is jump cancelling. That's not super jump cancelling. Another thing to notice is that if you do this, you know, try to do it with just the super jump. If you're not getting a super jump after this, you're doing it wrong. So this is a normal jump, and if you listen carefully, she makes a noise when she super jumps. So you might be going, oh, okay, so find out this timing. Find out when she jumps, and also I've tight combo 4 as well. So what you want to do is actually press the free kicks button the moment she sort of starts super jumping, and this is sort of how you train to do it. So you want to sort of press the free kicks button. You want to have already buffered in your movement. Press the button exactly when she normally jumps if you do it empty. Now for super jump cancels, I'm going to go into a bit about why they're important. Obviously you've seen me cancel into the ultra, you've seen me sort of go to the other side with this, or just go into here. There's another application for it which includes which is what we call on the forums the Mo Tempest mix-up. And if you notice, it comes off this attack here, which is her anti-air. And I'll be going into anti-airs a little bit later. Actually, I can go into anti-airs right now. So, for anti-airs, what you kind of want to do in order to practice anti-airs, especially in training mode, if you don't have a training partner to do this with you, what you should do is sort of, you know, find an anti-air that's given you difficulty. So an anti-air which gives me a lot of difficulty, I will say, is actually Ryu's jumping fist. Okay. This is actually, it's difficult, the anti-air this. Ibuki has but I'm gonna teach you first the back strong anti-air specifically, mostly because I can go straight into why super jump cancels are important. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna put Ryu in recording, make him mash a few jabs, and then he does the jumping attack. So the importance of this is that when I hit restart, I know exactly when he's gonna jump, so I can walk in the exact spacing I want. Now when you do the Agiman mix-up, let me just quickly show it this way. Right, okay, anyway, so when you do the Agiman jump, you actually cancel it mostly into a light kick dash, I'd like to see you guys doing, or a medium kick dash, depending on the spacing, but essentially light kick dash is what you always want to do, and this allows you to go into rider. This isn't super jump cancel, by the way, or you can go into Kazagiri, or what I like to do is go into You see it trades. So this is why it's good to practice this. Standing roundhouse, but I'm doing it at the wrong range, you see. So for Ryu's jumping fierce, whilst I would go into... this is actually really annoying. So for Ryu's jumping fierce, let me just put him like this. I haven't practiced this myself, so... a really good anti-air combo, which includes... you doing a super jump cancel is... So what that is, it's just special cancel, back medium punch, the first hit, and then you super jump cancel, the standing roundhouse. If you're not able to super jump cancel and eat a better at anti-air, it shouldn't be so difficult. Right. So you can go into, after the standing roundhouse, you can go into Kazugiri. Now let's talk about more anti-airs. Now I'm going to put him back onto his record mode. Now so this is sort of, if you have a character that's bothering you with anti-airs, you know, do a couple of jabs, then walk in. Then you can be like, oh, from this spacing, what do I do? Because, you know, if I hit him from here, he's gonna hit me out of it. He's gonna counter hit me. So from this range, okay, so here, I'll go crouching fierce instead. Hey, yeah, I found a new anti-air. And then when he's a bit closer, okay, so what range doesn't it work? So it doesn't work from here. So what you'll want to be doing is stand at this range, and you're like, so how can I anti-air him? And this is another anti-air for Ibuki, which is the standing roundhouse. It's typically for people who sort of jump on top of your head, so I mean a lot of people like to do like jab, jab, and then jump to try get to the other side. So that's what this move is for. And if you anti-air with this, it does 1 hit, 2 hits. So you can do it 2 times, and Kazugiri usually should come after it. Or you don't even have to super jump cancel to do this. You can do like a crouching fierce and then jump, I guess. So that's how you should practice anti-airs. So, you know, get a character, make him do a bunch of jabs so you know exactly when he's going to jump, you get into the right position, and you practice anti-airing him. I could be like this for hours, and then I'll go online, and any Ryu who tries to jump into me with that would get hurt. I think I have to catch range. Yes, okay, so medium kick. You have to try and time it right so that you get only the first hit. Yay! Sorry for wasting your time with that. Okay, so that's how you should practice your anti-airs, and just remember that Ibuki's anti-airs, let me stop Ryu from jabbing this way, Ibuki's anti-airs, if you're sort of about here, it's usually Agaman, and then you can do like a mix-up after it, always dash afterwards. If you're about here, so he would have to press a button for you to hit him, just crouching fierce. And crouching fierce also works this range as well, however you have to do it a bit earlier, so it's a harder anti-air to use. And of course if he's just above your head, so if he jumps from this range, you do close standing roundhouse. We're going to start with Ryu versus Ibuki. When you play against Ryu, you should be going for Ultra 2, as, because what you can actually do is go through his fireballs, and also I'll be showing you a couple of other really cool things that you can do. So with Ryu, the main thing you'll be noticing is that sort of record him doing a bunch of fireballs, you know, here and there. So and what you'll notice is that if Ibuki has meter, she can go just underneath the fireballs, and she can even set up like an unblockable after it. But how you should practice this, that was just a quick option select. I'll be going into those a bit later. So what you should notice, if you're playing against Ryu players, that you can't anti it from full screen. Sorry, you can't actually reaction punish his fireball from full screen. Unless he walks into it, which is what he won't be doing in an actual match. So that isn't a proper punish. He can block that and he can punish you with anything. So this is about the range of which you'll be going underneath his fireballs. And of course a lot closer. By the time you've reacted to the fireball, you're not going to be able to get the movement out. So what you can do to make, reacting to these fireballs easier, because you don't want to just randomly throw them out, and at the same time you can't block them all day as well, is that you can actually just buffer in the motion, so that when you see the fireball, it can come out. So I'm repeatedly buffering, and I see the fireball, that was an on reaction, and then you sort of press the button. So that's one thing to do about Ryu. Now, another thing you should realize is that Ryus like to do this move a lot. So you want to know exactly what range this hits you at. Oh, by the way, this is the let me just quickly show you what I mean. This is clearly the PC version, but what I've done is that I've got the 2012 update sort of installed on the PC version. So let's go back to footsies. Anyway, so what you'll be doing here is recording Ryu doing his best poke, and find out what range at which it hits you. So right here, you can actually look at the if you watch the cross counter Ryu air guide, you'll pay attention to that there are actually cubes on the floor. So you can't stand here, it's going to hit you. If you're from this range, you can actually kick him out of it with this move right here. And what can you do to follow up? Does that combo? Or so from this range, you can't really get anything significant, but you can hit him out of it. That's good news. So that's how you should practice against pokes which you don't really like. Another thing you can also do is like, does this work? No, it doesn't. You can practice, sort of trying to see it. So what? Okay, so what I've got him jumping before he does the roundhouses. If I counter poke him randomly, I don't know when he's going to do it again. So I have to react to him when he does it once more. So I'm going to knock him down, and then. So that's how you practice your reactions against them. So let's see. So actually, it's pretty hard to whiff punish this. Well, it's pretty hard for me anyway. But that's what you should be doing. Another way, you can actually use this to whiff punish, because it starts up faster. But as you'll notice, he retracts it back so quickly that it's just he just gets out of the way so fast. So one of the changes to Ibuki that you don't really see is that the Ultra 1 input is easier to do. And what this allows you to do is essentially combo into it off like a standing medium kick really easily. Again, this is the PC version, but I've got the 2012 patch downloaded off the Shuriken forums. It's not the official patch, but it's got all of the changes in it. So that used to be, I've never pulled that off before 2012 update. So that is nice and new. And of course, for Ibuki, I think that if you get EX Muji and you have Ultra, do this because you get more damage and you get a nice integral knockdown. Usually before, if you wanted damage, you went into Kazugiri. But if you wanted an integral knockdown, you went into Rider. Now, in my opinion, if you've got your opponent to the corner and you're doing a combo like this, he's probably like really close to stun. So you actually, if you do a combo like this and go into the rider, if it probably might stun him, and as you'll see, I'll put this up sort of in a second, is that let's make it constant, is that if you stun an opponent after a long combo, that wasn't long enough. It's actually difficult to practice this, but I just want to show you once. You don't actually have to oh dear. So if you stun an opponent after a large combo, and then you go into something like Ultra 1, it does like minimal damage, you know, and if you do like a long combo into the stun, you go into Ultra 2, you get like hardly any damage, and of course after Ultra 2 you have no mix-up. So there are a few things which I like to do, and this is sort of, you should practice your mix-ups. What do you do after a stun? You know, after a stun, there's lots of things you can do. You can even go gimmicky and do something like this. Just wait until he's... So you can, you know, you can switch sides with the command dash, and then go into Ultra if you can pull it off. But that's a waste, you know, in my opinion. In my opinion, after a stun, I like to go for something which does a lot of damage and allows me to do a mix-up afterwards. So after a stun, I'm not going to go into a combo which I can't pull off consistently. I mean, that's a one-frame link, and you know, I get a net breaker knockdown anyway. So I may as well just, you know, after a stun, if I want a knockdown, I'll go into this fancy combo right here, which, you know, after much damage scaling, it does around the same as a Samuji loop anyway. It doesn't build as much meter though. And also, after something like this, if it's during a stun, you can just like, switch to the other side, and or you know, try to frame trap them, or go for tick throws. You can sort of, you know. Oh, my computer's going all slow all of a sudden. Okay, we're back. So yeah, you can, you know, you can go into, you know, try to frame trap them or whatever. After a stun, you know, if you get knocked down, you can get like another vortex, and that will probably win you the round. What I like to do after a stun is, if my opponent's stunned, I have enough time to do like a jumping fierce, you know, and it's pretty big. You know, it does decent damage. It builds decent meter. And of course, after a stun, I want the reset, so I'm doing, you know, I'm getting like a reset after my command dash, and I can choose what side I go on. And I can either go into an overhead, you know, so that acts as a frame trap and an overhead at the exact same time. So that's what I like to do after a stun. Now what I'm going to talk about now is her Ibuki Super. So Ibuki Super, you might be thinking, okay, so I mean that's like free chip damage, right? You can't punish it on block. If your opponent's nearly dead and he's knocked down, you just do this on their wake up, and it does free chip damage. If it's going to kill them, just do it. Especially if it's the last round. Of course, if it's going into the second round, then don't waste all your meter. But how do you combo into it? Now, the trials show you that you can do Hien to Super. Now, this is a pretty good thing, because this means, okay, let's say if after stun, I go like, bam, 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 and they block this, they're blocking this part, and I go, bam. They might be blocking low, and that's going to hit them. Or, you know, I could do something like this, and that actually crosses up. But of course, you know, it's unsafe if they mash DP or whatever. But no, that's not a great way to combo into the Super, because when I play offline locals, people like, good players are they're gonna react to this, and even though they and you're gonna have to cancel the super, especially if you play against Ryu, because if you do this and you don't cancel it, you know, he's gonna get a jumping combo, or he's gonna go straight into super or something like that. You're gonna get punished. So you have to end it with a super in order to make it safe. You get chip damage, but you know, you just missed a big opportunity there. So how do you hit confirm into the super? At first, I'm going to show you two ways, which I don't want any Ibuki players doing. So after a time combo 4, you might be thinking, that's a cool combo, right? Or this. I don't want to see Ibuki players do either of these combos, because what you can do instead, I'm just going to reset it so you can compare damage. So let's do that type combo 4 combo again. It's a little harder to do, but as you can see, you know, it does 48 more damage, you know,